Okay then guys, hello and welcome back to the House of Devlin. I'm Big Al Devlin and this video is all about Midgard. I'm doing a series at the moment on all different realms, the 9 realms found within the Viking mythology, where I give you a little bit more detail about each realm. Now Midgard's a hard one to start with because it's the one that we're all familiar with, so there's not that much to say. Midgard is the world that we live on. It's Earth. It's the realm of men, ultimately. Okay, and its direct translation, Midgard, means the middle enclosure or the middle world, essentially, for all intents and purposes. And this has a double meaning to it. Has a literal meaning, the middle world or the middle realm or the middle enclosure, in the sense that if you consider the position of Midgard on the cosmological tree of Yggdrasil, it is in the middle of all 9 realms. There are 3 realms above it, 3 realms below it, and a realm on either side. It's bang right in the middle of all the 9 realms. And so it is the middle realm. But it's also given there is a sort of an additional meaning to the middle enclosure or the middle realm, in the sense that it means it's in the middle of civilization. Because I know that doesn't quite make sense the way I've worded it, but what you've got to remember is that Midgard was created from the corpse of Ymir, who was the first of all the giants. He was killed, and his body was used to build Midgard in the image of Asgard. Odin, Vili, and Ve. Odin is a god you'll all be very, very familiar with, but Vili and Ve were Odin's brothers. They together, those 3, killed Ymir, and as I say, built or reconstructed Ymir's body in the image of Asgard, so that the realm of Midgard, the realm of men, would strive at the very least to be ordered, just in the same way that Asgard was ordered. It wasn't chaotic, it wasn't wild, it had reason behind it, it had law, it had this concept of striving for something. And so that's the sort of almost dual meaning of Midgard. And as I say, the main thing to mention about Midgard is that it did come from the corpse of Ymir, as do men and women. So the main constructural elements of the world, the land are the bones of Ymir. The seas are the blood of Ymir. The trees and vegetation are the hairs of Ymir. The sky is the skull of Ymir, and that is propped up by 4 dwarfs called North, East, South, and West. And what's interesting is, as I say, if you go watch my video on Ask and Embla, the first man and woman that were created by Odin, but we were carved from trees, ultimately, an ash and an elm tree, an ash for men and an elm tree for women. And interestingly, as a result, that means that we were created from the hair of Ymir ourselves. So we are actually 100% giant in our own respect. So it's interesting. There's no mention at any point as to why the gods Odin, Vili, and Ve first of all wanted to create a new realm. Then there was no mention or any real reasoning why, that I've been able to find at least anyway, as to why Odin wanted to give life to man and woman to rule over such a realm. Why not rule over it themselves as a sort of second Asgard? I don't know is the answer. There may be a reason, and if you know it, then please educate me in the comment section or via email, or by your own video and link it in. I would be very much appreciate receiving that information, because it's, no matter how rare I've looked, I've not found anything on it. Now, we've talked about the creation of Midgard and sort of Midgard as a whole, how it exists today. There's not really much point really talking about that. But there is a point talking about the end of Midgard. Everything comes to an end, and for the Vikings, that's during the period of Ragnarok, or the Viking apocalypse, essentially, or as it's described, the destruction of the cosmos. Okay, now during this period, the skies of Midgard are poisoned by Jormungandr and his venomous fangs, and then Midgard is forced to sink into the sea along with everything else in the universe. So the sea that Midgard resides over, if you go to watch my cosmology video, you'll understand there is a sea that's a hemispherical sort of ocean underneath Midgard, and that surrounds Midgard. And the world literally just sinks into the sea, along with all the other realms. Just everything just sinks into it during when Ragnarok is finished, and that is how the world ultimately ends. The physical world, at least, anyway. Um, as I say, there's not a lot more to say on Midgard because, well, it's in the history books. You want to know about the heroes that lived on Midgard and all the rest of it. You need to go to the history books and read about like Eric the Red and things like this. All Ragnar Lothbrok. You need to go and study it because there's a lot of Vikings out there. And I will do a series on real life Vikings at one point as well, for those who are interested, and as I educate myself further, because I don't want to give false information out. I do know the stories, but I don't know the years and things like that. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to tune out, guys. It's been 6 minutes. I normally talk for half an hour at a time, so it feels weird only talking for 6 minutes. But thanks for watching the video. I'll see you soon.